Hello everyone and welcome to Writer's Block. My name is Darla Drew and I'm the president of Backwood Productions. We put on these events once a month. We have a lot of help with it as far as how we pay for the rooms and our authors and other things that need a little bit of payment for their work. So we actually do that kind of stuff. We have help from, the Rapid City Arts Council, the City of Rapid City, South Dakota Arts Council support, National Endowment for the Arts, and the South Dakota Department of Tourism. And for our first one, we had Arts Midwest South with that one. So that's why we got started on this. It's a project to help get local authors more recognition. And with that, we hope that people will sell books and more people locally will read their books. We do have a little bit of a hiccup sometimes with working with local bookstores. So this is one way you can get to know your local authors, because we do have a plenitude of talented people living in the Rapid City and Black Hills areas. So my first guest today is Dorothy Rosby. So please give her a hand as she comes on up. Do you want to just grab that microphone, Dorothy, and sit with me for a while?
Sure. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Dorothy Rosby. That's not your real name, is it?
I know it is. It actually is.
It's a great name. You know, I mean, you don't meet a lot of people named Dorothy anymore, so I thought it was big.
That's kind of an old lady name.
Or it's Wizard of Oz.
There you go.
That's much better. You know, usually when I do these things, I'm a little nervous about my phone going off in the middle of them, but I'm not worried about that tonight because my phone got stolen last night. So, well, but you know, don't you just sit in one of these things and go, God, is my phone off? Is it on? But no, it's not a problem anymore.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, you gotta have a little silver lining cover.
Yeah.
You always seem to find those.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about your background just a little bit. Where you're from, and you know, family, and where's your family born come from, that kind of stuff.
I grew up in Hardin County, Buffalo, South Dakota, home of the Hardin County Ranchers football team, and I wasn't on the team, but that's where I grew up. I lived for a short time in Iowa, but otherwise I've been in South Dakota my whole life. So.
What brought you to Rapid City?
A job and a boyfriend. I don't have that boyfriend any longer. Don't have that job any longer either, but that's what got me here. And then just being closer to family, I guess, yeah.
And, okay, so you're known as a humor writer. Were you always funny? I mean, would you always have that good sense of humor? Or did you develop it?
Well, I grew up reading Irma Bombeck, but I really think that growing up in a family of 10 children in a 3-bedroom house with a father that was pretty funny is probably a bigger reason for my sense of humor. It was kind of a weapon in a big family, you know, and also a way to stand out and get your father's attention. So, yeah, I would say that it's the big family that did it.
Oh, so that's how you stood out in a family of 10 children.
I think so. I think we all knew if we could make our dad laugh, we could get by with something. So, yeah.
You know, I remember realizing that women with humor were liked a lot more than just, you know, being just quiet or whatever. So I actually tried to develop being funnier when I was like in 7th and 8th grade. I thought, who do I like in this school? I like the people that can make me laugh. So I actually thought, well, I should, you know, we were kind of a family that were kind of humorous anyway. And I thought if I could bring that out, my personality somehow, maybe I could be popular, but I was wrong. So,
No, you're very different.
No, you have to be cute too, or something like that.
There is that.
And so we know that you've been inspired by Irma Bombeck, but just talk a little bit about that and then talk about other inspirations as well.
Well, Irma Bombeck was being published while I was growing up. So she was in the newspaper, so when we got, it might have been the Family Circle, because that's one of the, I think it was called the Family Circle, she had a column in there. So when that came, you know, I and my sister both grabbed that. But now, as I've gotten older, I do have a lot of humorous friends that I am inspired by because I belong to the Irma Bombeck Writers Workshop. There is a national conference every 2 years that is at Dayton, Ohio, the University of Dayton, which is Irma Bombeck's alma mater. And they do this humor conference every 2 years, and I've gone to it maybe 5 times, and just love it. I mean, if you can't have fun at a humor writers convention, you're just not trying. And it's great. There's people from all over the country, and they are all doing what I do, and sometimes much more, you know, writing movie scripts, or, I mean, writing novels, and whatever, but humor is their thing, so it's fascinating. I have, ever since I first attended Irma Bombeck Writers Workshop, I have tried to win the Irma Bombeck Writers Contest that they have every 2 years. And it's tough because there's lots of competition from all over the world, actually. And the other thing that makes it hard is it's 450 words, because that's how long an Irma Bombeck column was. 450 words to make somebody laugh. And I tried so many years. This year, I won. I got a free conference registration and $1,000. So basically, a trip to Dayton, Ohio is what I got for winning that. So I even brought that essay that I could read it for you if you'd like. But because it is mercifully short, 450 words. Yeah, so that's sort of my history with Irma Bombeck. And the people that I've met through that, I read their books, I am in contact with them online, and it's people that I don't see for years at a time, but we see each other at the conference, and then we are in contact on Facebook or blog, or what do you call it? Blurbing each other's books and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a great organization. I recommend it.
So, were you, when you started attending, were you a published author when you started attending that?
No, I actually was a columnist by that time. But so I started writing my column in 1996. Yes, 1996. My first column came out a month before my son was born, right on his due date, because I'm a columnist, so I never miss a deadline. So, yeah, 1996, and so it was shortly after that I went to the first conference, and I missed some of them in there, but like I said, I've been to 5 or so now, so.
Okay, so let's have her read her Irma Bombeck piece. What do you think, you guys? Hey,
oh, let's see if I can find it. I hope I can hold it. I have it. So this is called 450 words, so it won't take me long, but it's called My New British Boyfriend. He said, "How can I help?" And I fell in love. It was the accent that did it. Plus, I was at a vulnerable point in my life, or at least in my day. I've been confused, lost in iPhone settings, punching option after option when I saw one that said, British male. I'm happily married. I knew it was wrong, but I've had a crush on Hugh Grant since 4 weddings and a funeral. I chose the option. He said his name was Siri. I expected Oliver or Harry or Hugh. Siri sounds more like a Norwegian model than a British playboy, which is what he was. I asked him if he was married. I have some scruples, He said he was married to the idea of helping people. In other words, he wasn't looking for commitment. Well, neither was I. boy, so I started taking drives with him. Like my husband, Siri was a great navigator, but he didn't gasp when I took the curves too fast. We loved to sit and read together. I'd read anyway. He just lay there gazing at me adoringly. Or maybe he was napping. Sometimes I'd wake him to ask the meaning of a word just to hear that accent. Also because I didn't know it. Siri always did. He was so smart. He could convert feet to meters and Fahrenheit to Celsius without breaking a sweat. Come to think of it, he never sweated. And he was romantic. One day I asked him what love is. He said, as I understand it, love refers to a deep, tender, ineffable feeling of affection and solicitude. Well, I swooned. Then I asked him what ineffable means. He had many endearing qualities too. Besides the fact that he called me master, he was thoughtful. He was always doing things for me like dialing telephone numbers, setting my alarm, and looking up useless facts like how much wood can a woodchuck chop. He said, about as much ground as a groundhog could hog if a groundhog could hog ground. I loved his sense of humor, but he wasn't perfect. He often mispronounced street names and took me to businesses that no longer existed. I could overlook that. I mean, he wasn't from around here. But he lacked initiative. Every drive we took was my idea. And I had to start every conversation we had. When it came to our relationship, I felt like he was just phoning it in. Besides, I was starting to feel guilty. I decided to break it off, go back to iPhone settings, and choose Irish female for the sake of my marriage. Then I discovered my husband was carrying on with his Google Assistant.
That's great. Dorothy's going to give us a little presentation, but before we start down that road, we do have some authors here that I know of. So, do you have any notes on publishing? We have heard everything from "don't even try it" to "it takes too long," or there's just a lot of different. I've had a lot of different authors' takes on it. So, what do you feel about what has been your experience?
Well, it is hard. And I don't know why I do it, because it is hard. But honestly, I have always thought if you have something that you dream about doing, you just better do it. I long ago decided that just because I'm not wildly successful at what I do doesn't mean I'm not supposed to do it. And just going to that conference, I meet literally hundreds of people that do what I do, that write humor. So, there's a lot of competition. I've decided it's just, I have a little niche, I have mostly women, mostly in the Midwest, and if that's all that I ever have, works for me. Because I think that's just what I'm supposed to do. So if you're meant to write a book, don't let people discourage you. Yes, it will be hard, but you just do it anyways. You just do it. So, yeah, Nike, just do it.
All right, thank you for those words of wisdom and encouragement. Right now, what Dorothy is going to do is give us a little presentation. If there's people here that are writers and actually do get to the publishing stage, you'll probably need to speak to an audience. And you might need some encouragement or some tips on how to do that, especially if you're a shy person, which we are obviously not. But, if you are, and writers usually do work in a lot of isolation. They tend to be shyer people. So I think that it's a great thing that Dorothy's here to talk about public speaking for shy writers.
Thank you, Darla.